Hi everyone, welcome to day 12 of our Advent calendar of yoga. So we're going to do another movement practice today. Today we're going to do a little sequence to focus on opening up through the chest and through the shoulders. So we're going to start with our breathing. So if you want to find a comfortable position to sit and breathe. So I'm taking cross-legged, but if you want you can have your legs out in front or to the side, or if you're really not feeling sitting up, you're very welcome to take a lying down position. Okay, so bring in hands to rest gently somewhere on the knees or the thighs. Try and find some length through the spine if you're seated. Roll the shoulders a few times down the back and draw chin down towards the chest. When you feel ready, gently closing the eyes. And just beginning to allow your mind to gather inwards, and just leaving behind temporarily everything in the external world. So you're starting to feel your mind getting more and more quiet, more and more still. And start to consciously begin to slow your breathing down. So try and take a nice generous breath in. See if you can take a little pause and then take a really slow exhale. As you begin to slow your breathing down, see if you can begin to soften through the upper back. So allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, allow the chest and the heart to begin to soften and open. See if you can release the tension from around the jaw. Relax across your forehead. Begin to cultivate that ujjayi breath of sound. So now as you breathe in and out through the nose, begin to constrict the back of your throat so that your breath begins to sound noisy, like the waves of the ocean. As you do that, allow your breath to travel all the way down into your belly and feel the belly expand on those inhales. As you exhale, drawing gently the belly button back towards the spine, just assisting the breath, squeezing the breath out of the body. So we're breathing in, looking for expansion, so down to the belly, expanding through the rib cage, widening through the chest. And as you exhale again, squeezing belly in, hugging rib cage in, squeezing all the breath out. Keeping the mind completely focused on your breath, just listening to the sound, paying attention to the movement. Taking a few more rounds of breath in this way. And drawing the hands together into Anjali Mudra. And take a moment here to set your sankalpa, your positive intention for your practice today. something or someone that you'd like to dedicate your session towards. And just hold that in your mind and breathe deeply as if you're breathing in to that intention. And release the hands, start to blink the eyes open, and then just give the shoulders a good roll. So we're going to begin with some side stretches here. So if you're not already in cross-legged shape, either bring yourself into that or take the legs out in front if you can't sit cross-legged. And we're going to take our left hand to the side. We're going to reach up with the right arm. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, begin to reach up and over, taking a side stretch. Try and keep both of your hips grounded into the mat so you're not lifting up with that right hip. And then slide the top of the shoulder away from the ear. As soon as you find that shape in the body, come back to your breathing. One more breath. And draw yourself all the way back through center. Place your right hand to the side. Inhale as you reach up through the left arm. And then exhale as you stretch over to the side. Again, hips are grounded, top of the shoulder away from the ear. Nice deep breath. Inhale for space in the rib cage. And as you exhale, can you extend more through that arm? All the way back to center. Good. And we're going to take seated cat-cow. So if I turn to the side so you can see. So again, you can do this with the legs out long. Your hands would just be on your thighs instead. Or taking your hands to the front of the knees. So on the inhale, we're going to arch the back, lift the chest, and begin to look up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're going to squeeze the belly in, start to draw chin to chest, and press the back of your heart behind you. And we inhale, curl the other way, lift the chest, drop the shoulders. And then exhale, squeeze everything back to the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arch. Exhale, hug everything to the spine. It's going to take 2 more. So inhale. Exhale. Good, last one, inhale. And exhale. Returning to neutral spine, and then either take the legs out to the side to bring them behind you, or you can practice a transition where you roll over the knees, hands come down, and then we find ourselves at the back of the mat for child's pose. So knees can come wide, big toes together, or you can keep the knees together. Okay? And then bringing your arms, your hands out in front, lowering the head down to the mat. And pressing the hands into the mat, drawing the tailbone down, feeling that stretch for the spine, for the lower back. See if you can spin your armpits in towards each other, create a little bit more space for the shoulder blades. And nice deep breaths here. One more breath. Begin to lift your face, walk your hands back halfway, and we'll come to our traditional cat-cow stretches. So knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, heels in line with knees. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. And then making sure that you've got that connection through the fingertips and the knuckles of the hands, so don't just crunch into your wrist joints. A little bit of softness through your elbows. And we're going to inhale, begin to lift the tailbone, arch the back, look forward, or slightly up if it's okay in your neck. Exhale, squeezing the belly, drawing chin to chest, lifting the back of the heart to the ceiling. Good, inhale. Inhale, arch, look forward. Exhale, hug it in. We'll take 2 more. Last one. Coming back to neutral spine, and we're going to come into Anahata Asana, heart chakra pose or puppy pose. So start to walk your hands towards the top of the mat, and then begin to bring the chest down. So different to child's pose, we don't send the tailbone back, keep the tailbone lifted, and begin to bring the chest down. If the floor feels too far away, you can bring a block underneath the forehead as you lower the chest down. I also find it helpful sometimes to come up onto fingertips so that I can release the chest down a little bit more. And also, because I have a little bit of arthritis in my hands, so sometimes too much work on the hands can cause discomfort there. So feel free to dome the hands if you want as you bring the chest down. And then take some really nice deep breaths into your chest, into the back of the shoulders. Trying not to transfer the tension from the shoulders and the chest into the face. So just be careful that you're not clenching your jaw. One more breath. And then start to bring yourself back up, walk your hands back in, and then we'll come up to downward dog. So tucking toes, pressing into hands, lifting the hips nice and high. Feet are set to hip width or thereabouts. Feel free to make the pose your own. Some people like to widen their feet, some people like to make them a bit more narrow. So poses aren't set in stone, by the way. If there's something that feels better for your body, please do it. So you might want to just hold in stillness and feel the stretch in the hamstrings, or you might need a little bit of encouragement for the legs by pedaling out your downward dog. I'm going to take 2 more breaths. Okay, and we're going to start to practice a little bit of a flow between downward dog, lowering down and taking some chest openers down on the mat. So take a breath in. Exhale, bring your knees down. And we're going to bring ourselves into a diagonal position. So starting to walk knees back, hands forward. Bring yourself into a half push-up position. So you want your wrists stacked underneath your shoulders. And then you want to try not to let your lower back sag towards the mat. Okay, so try and keep all of that in. And then we're going to practice as best as you can, bending the elbows but keeping them really close to the side of the body, squeezing the belly in and then lowering down with control. Good. Eventually let your forehead touch the mat. Give your hips a little bit of a rock from side to side, and then see if you can just relax the legs for a moment. If you haven't already got them, their hands come underneath the shoulders now. Try and tuck your tailbone under, press pubic bone into mat, and start to squeeze your belly in so that we're using a little bit of core strength to take our back bends. And then from here, coming into baby cobra, so starting to lift the chest, squeeze the elbows, and just look down so neck is long, and take a couple of nice deep breaths there. One more breath, and then exhale, lower down. Good. Take a breath in. Exhale, squeeze belly, lift yourself back up. Check that you're using your back muscles by lifting your hands off the mat. Squeeze those elbows together, and try not to throw your head back. It's not nice for the spine there. Take one more breath. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Forehead touches the mat. We're going to tuck the toes, really squeeze belly, gently pressing into the hands, but but using your core to roll yourself back to child's pose. You stretch the spine, bring the head down, take a couple of breaths. In child's pose, transitioning through tabletop, tucking toes, and we'll come back to downward dog. Pedal out the legs, or hold in stillness for a few breaths. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, let's lower the knees back down. Bring yourself back into your half push-up position. Make sure wrists are underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in, keep belly strong, elbows close to the side and lowering down. Good, forehead comes all the way down. Again, give the hips a little bit of a rock here. Tuck pubic bone under, so it's pressing into the mat. And this time, let's walk the hands back underneath the elbows. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, squeeze belly, press into hands, and bring yourself into high cobra. So legs are grounded. Try and relax your glutes if you can. Drop the shoulders, lift the chest, and we'll take a couple of breaths there. Take one more breath in. Exhale, squeeze belly so that you roll back over the knees, and we'll come back to Balasana, child's pose. Forehead down. Deep breaths. One more breath. And then bring yourself back up onto the knees. Tuck toes, lift hips, downward dog. Pedal out the legs if you still need to, or hold in stillness, plucking down through the fingertips and the knuckles of the hands. Squeezing armpits in towards each other, and the head looks back so the neck is long. Staying with your Ujjayi breath. One more breath in. Exhale, knees down. Good. Inhale as you lengthen forward into your half push-up position. Exhale as you lower down with control. Good. Let your forehead touch the mat. Rock the hips. Hands back underneath the elbows. Squeeze belly in. Lift yourself up. Now you can either stay here in high cobra if that felt like enough for you, or you can roll up onto the tops of the feet. Try and squeeze belly so you're not hanging in your lower back. Upward facing dog. Take one more breath. Good. Exhale, knees down, squeeze belly, child's pose. I'm going to take 2 more breaths. And slowly start to bring yourself out of child's pose, coming into a kneeling position. Okay, so that's our little flow. We're just going to take one more pose and then a little bit of Shavasana. So it's up to you how you want to do this. You can either use, if you've got a yoga bolster, I'll just turn mine out. You can use that, but if you've got one like mine that's quite bulky, it might be that it feels too strong a chest opener. So I'll show you with that and you can see. Or if you've got like a pillow or a sort of flatter one, you can also use that. Or you can use a yoga block. Okay, so we're just going to come to a lying down position and do a little bit of a chest opener that way. Okay, so if I show you with my bolster, you might see what I mean once I've placed it there, because mine's still quite firm. So you place the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulder blades, over your bolster, and then take your back bend that way. Okay, but you want to be able to have your head in contact with something, not just hanging in space. So if you find that you can't do that with your bolster, either put a yoga block or another cushion under the head, or have something that's slightly lower. Okay, so you would use either your block or a cushion. Okay, so a cushion will make it a little bit more of a gentler back bend, so you drape yourself that way. Or your yoga block, which lines up about there underneath the shoulders, and then you take your back bend that way. Okay, arms up overhead, so they can either cactus or can reach up straight, up and over. And we're just going to hold there and breathe. Give that 2 more breaths. And then carefully bring arms back down by the side, bend the knees in, and then just roll yourself off to the side so that you can remove your whatever you've used underneath you. And then we'll come into a little shavasana here, just allowing all of the goodness from your practice to settle into your body. So lying yourself down comfortably in a way that suits you and your spine. Again, like we did yesterday, if you want to use something, 2 yoga blocks, a rolled up yoga mat, rolled up towel, or a cushion under the knees. Really nice to make this a little bit more comfortable for the spine. Give yourself a few deep breaths in through the nose, exhalations out the mouth. And then just let your breath go, let your breath breathe you. And just let your body become heavy on your mat. Feeling yourself being held by the earth. Just enjoying all the feelings, the sensations in the body after some of those stretches. So just noticing the changes that have taken place because of each asana that we've done. Again, if you want to stay and have a longer shavasana, then please feel free. And if that's all you've got time for, just beginning to bring some small movements back, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, maybe circling the ankles. And running the thumb across the other 4 fingers, just bringing some sensations back there. Very carefully drawing knees in towards chest, hugging yourself into a little ball. A little bit of rocking here from side to side. And then rolling to the side in order to press yourself up into a seated position. So using your hand to do that. Coming back to Sukhasana for easy seat. Hands resting somewhere onto the legs that feels comfortable for you. Elevating through the crown of your head, drawing down through tailbone, chin towards chest. And breathe. Just noticing the difference between how you feel now at the end of your practice compared to how you felt when you first sat down on your mat. And just being really grateful to yourself for giving yourself time to practice, time for stillness and quiet, and time to nourish and look after yourself. It's really important. And drawing palms of the hands together once again into Anjali Mudra, thinking back to that intention that you made at the start, and just honouring your practice by dedicating all the good energy that you've created here towards whatever that intention was. And again, fingertips to forehead, we ask for that clarity in our thoughts, down to the mouth for that truth in our speech, back down to the heart, that open and loving heart. Okay, wishing you all a very, very peaceful Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Namaste.